Greetings, Galcatch fans. I don't know if this blog is another update or if it's sort of just another clarification thing or whatever. It's going to go on the On Location Cat channel, not the Chimera channel. I discussed the Chimera channel update thing already over there. I'm going to put this on the On Location Cat #1 channel, which yes, there was some confusion from some Trek horror fans and other ones, and people commenting on the Star Trek site. Well, because Mark Cards and I had done an article, an editorial on the Axanar lawsuit, days after it happened, like 2 days after it happened. It's been several weeks since then, since the Axanar lawsuit. Several other people have chimed in with the same kind of thing, and there's these trolls going in and out that work for Axanar that are posting on the site, complaining about how we just don't understand copyright and all that stuff, which is ridiculous because they don't either. Actually, I did study copyright law in school, and I do know about copyright law. So, yeah, I took a law class, so I have taken a copyright. That was part of the journalism major. So yeah, I know all about that. At least enough about it. And the internet law is newer, so it was new. So the DCMA comes, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and I guess this could be about that too, and about several websites getting shut down or bothered by DCMA claims. This channel is not, fortunately, at the moment, being involved in that. Because that's part of the reason why on the CalCat video channels you get very few review footages of actual, like, some event going on. Very, very few of that because we would get flagged if we were recording when the music was playing, or because the bots are really, really tenacious. Apparently, even if I sing a song, sometimes I'm that close and sets it off. So yeah, I totally reach for that over on Nostalgia Critic websites talking about that. Hushed speech and stuff like that. Of course, he released a commentary about them sneaking in a new copyright law 2 days before April Fool's Day. I think he was punked. I don't think they were going to do that. I don't think they did do that. So he was punked. Somebody was tricking him as an April Fool's joke. See, on April Fool's Day, this is going to happen. It's like, sure. Yeah, it's just like we did a Star Trek thing with that. So, yeah, update on the Axanar lawsuit and what makes fan films, Star Trek films, different from, say, my fan films. The stuff Mark Cards and I do. The difference, the big reason Axanar is being sued was not necessarily corrupted speech, not necessarily shutting down speech. It was because the Axanar creators made a studio based on their Kickstarter. They made over $1 million based on the name Star Trek, and they said, we're going to have a Star Trek studio and we're going to have a new movie. That is against the copyright of Paramount Pictures and the copyright of the trademark. It's more of a trademark thing than a copyright thing. Trademark of Paramount Pictures. Continues and Renegades and those other shows and Frontier were able to get around that because what they said was, we're going to have a Kickstarter, but it's a gift. We're not going to advertise what that gift was, but it was a gift, and we put this thing together for the love of the show. For the love of Star Trek. It's going to be 50 years old this year, and in this case, and our fan film Star Trek Chimera is the name of our fan film. We've done other fan films and have not been flagged. Now we've done other fan films for Transformers, Robotech, even some recent ones, and mainly that so far. And Starcrackers was sort of our fan film nod to science fiction in general. And that's coming back out again too. We released a full version of that, a little low res TV version of it, basically. So 720p Anyway, so there's a dog barking out there, but it doesn't matter. Um, and the Axanar lawsuit, people were complaining, well, you just don't understand. And they were getting all snarky and swearing and saying ridiculous things like challenging the other posters, not just me and the other, but on other websites as well, saying you guys just don't know anything. You guys are Trekkies, and Trekkies are just dumb, or Trekkies don't get laid, or Trekkies are gay. They'd often say that, and as if it was a pejorative. Well, it doesn't. Well, for the last comment, it's 2016. It doesn't matter if some of them are gay, so can't use that one. They're not dumb. They're quite smart. Some of this stuff is very creative fan film stuff that they've done. I would say what gets them in trouble the most is using the music, really. And same goes for Nostalgia Critic and Stone Gremlins and some of those other productions that do reviews, in that they have a larger budget, of course. They have a studio. They do their thing. Nostalgia Critic has a studio, and he does his reviews and parodies and things. He's got a studio, and some of these companies have bots that are looking for that music or that backstory and whatnot. Stone Gremlin gets around this by over there, the other guy, by doing the videos in a car. Goes in a car and they do it in there, and there's no music, so they can deflect. Red Letter Media does this by putting a videotape thing around the actual frames so they're smaller. It's distracting, but they can do that and get away with it. Also, they're bigger than either of those. They're a bigger studio. So they can do that. Our parody, this is we very, for the love of doing parody film, all that, and blogging, we do not do this is not a studio. This is literally the typical Trek dork, well, we're not dork, we're nerds. Trek nerd thing. We do our stuff out of a house in a Bay Area town in California, a house. There is no budget. We put together no budget stuff. Automatically, Paramount would not pay attention to Star Trek Camera. They would look at the footage and they would say, and they probably have seen it, some of the bloopers and things, and said, oh, these guys are fine. They're just, they've done like the action figures like, little kids would do in front of their Transformer toys or their Star Trek toys in front of a model going by and stuff. That's fine. That's why we get around it. Because we're not getting any money. We did not make any money on this. It's taken the Star Trek thing a long time. I went over that on the other blog. And partly because we keep running out of money. Because we're doing it ourselves. So we'll pull out some money and we'll take it out of the savings and go over and do something. And whenever we lose a camera or something, it almost breaks the budget for like 2 months. It's and we're going to, we've got to save up for the next thing, which is the Fanime convention, and that's only a month away at this point, month and a half. We'll be walking around there. We will not be guests at the convention. Walking around there. So at least I will. I don't know if Mark's Cards is signed on for that one yet. We'll see. Probably. Well, we'll see. We'll see if he's not working. But Chimera has taken a while. But it's not because Paramount silenced us. Some of the critics thought maybe they silenced them. That's why they're not posting as much. I'll put a blog in there and said no. Paramount did not give us a cease order. Nothing like that happened. It's not silenced. It's not slowed down. It's just that we did not have, for whatever reason, things didn't work out at first. It is a little worrisome in that will we ever get done? But no, we will finish it. It's not a scam. You've seen the footage that we've done so far, and some of it's pretty funny. Some of it we did over again because it wasn't very funny. And that trailer is wrong. It's not Memorial Day, but that's because wishful thinking on my part. We gotta have it out by Memorial Day, sure. Why not? No, sorry. It's not gonna be ready. But we want to make it the best ever, right? For the fans. It's for the fans. And yes, it is the first animated, well, sort of go motion animated Star Trek in years. Since the 70s animated Star Trek. and some of the Robot Chicken episodes that inspired this. And and also we had done animated versions of this in a role-playing game in high school called Silly Trek. And yeah, what's cool is recently we had a mention up there of we did one of our stories has gone into the lexicon of failed Star Trek script stories. It shouldn't have, actually, because it wasn't the Star Trek people from the original series that wrote that Teddy Bear Enterprise story. That was us in high school. That is so weird. Somebody printed this on this website thinking it was a real thing from the classic Trek. It's not like we didn't tell them. It's that, that other person went to school with us and they published the article. I guess that's what I'm assuming. And they're like, there was going to be this evil teddy bear episode where the teddy bear gets all giant sized and attacks the Enterprise and fights them and everything. And the teddy bear, and it's like, hold on a second. That's Silly Trek. That's the pilot of Silly Trek. That's the Silly Trek movie that aired at our high school. And it was a semi-famous high school. So, that's Destruction of the Dolls is what we called that. It was called Silly Trek Adventures. And Kirk had to fight a Teddy Ruxpin that had become cybernetically enhanced and turned into an evil commander. So he's ripping off Star Trek 2, crossed with, Teddy Ruxpin, The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin on Iliop. Why not? Because it's so ludicrous. It was funny. But this other thing was called Bandai. No, that wasn't the name of it. It was Teddy Ruxpin. You might have... you might say, not Seth MacFarlane. You didn't think of Ted. Seth MacFarlane is ripping us off. All right. He also knew about us somehow. And he also knew... No, what's going on... Actually, what's really going on is every guy that's like about in their 40s now had a Teddy Ruxpin. Or knew a kid that did. And that's what's going on. Is they thought, Teddy Ruxpin is really creepy. I bet if there was a Star Trek episode with a Teddy Ruxpin in it, he'd go postal and kill everybody. That's where they're getting it from. So I'm not saying we necessarily knew this guy, although it's weird. The story is very similar. It's very close. And Seth MacFarlane with Ted, Sassy Ted. Same idea. Funny. But that's just a little aside there. No, we did not write Bandy. We wrote our version, and we were thinking like they were. You could say that too. Or you could say they ripped it off. Why not? We did post Silly Trek a while back. So yeah, the article, so some of our earliest stuff has leaked out onto the internet. So what Chimera was an attempt to do was to take the Mary Sue angles out of it, of us putting ourselves and our friends in Star Trek, and make it a straight up Star Trek story set in the TNG period, but in 2388, and have Q and Picard and do the final TNG / reunion TNG Deep Space Nine Voyager episode. All the fans of the Prime Universe have been clamoring for since 2002 when that show went off the air. We just said that last movie, Nemesis. So we said, this is what the fans wanted. This is not the Search for Data, though, which you might think. No, it's Q. It's a Q episode. And they wanted a Q movie. And we were going to give them a Q movie. It's going to be action figures. And no lens flares. Or very few. We're not going to get in trouble. But we will. When the movie is completed, we will, of course, submit to the form regarding that on the website. That says, okay, you're going to do a fan film, but we want to make sure you're not going to rip us off over here at Paramount CBS. So there's a fan film agreement thing that you have to read through. We'll read it. We just haven't yet. Regarding a fan story. I'm sure we'll meet all the criteria easily because it's not paid, we're not making money, it's an issue. Yeah, so Axanar broke the rules, made over $1.5 million, and pissed everybody off. That's basically what they did. That's not going to set a precedent against other fan films as long as they are not paying anyone salaries, and as long as they're not making any money from the name Star Trek. Star Trek is copyrighted. Paramount had Pictures and CBS by Gene Roddenberry's original Odyssey, Rick Berman after that, and of course J.J. Abrams, the current one, and Simon Pegg and Jason Lin, the current one. But yeah, it's Kirk and crew battling Teddy Ruxpin. It's hilarious. It's supposed to be a parody. But no, our movie is not about that anymore. This is much matured since then. Although it does have its moments of being immature and silly. It's animated Star Trek, very similar to if Robot Chicken did a feature film. It's not Robot Chicken, but we could swear that some of the people that did Robot Chicken also went to school with us and knew full well this is what we're going to do some of this spoofy stuff too. So they can get paid for it, though, which is interesting that they get paid for that. Be on TV. We can't. Yeah, so we're not making any ad revenue on that. We weren't in Robot Chicken, although we'd think we were, but we're not. Someone else had asked on Trek Core if it was possible that they had somebody else, a guy, I'm going to leave the name out because he'll make you mad, referenced that he had sent an email to Paramount and CBS a couple of weeks ago to wanted to find out if his story that he had in mind would be accepted. Now, if he'd gone to the Paramount webpage and the CBS webpage, which a lot of the Trek Core guys didn't, I did. Checked all the disclaimers and everything. I don't know. Because I was doing another article on another fan that did something similar last year and claimed to have written a pitch letter. I know he couldn't possibly have been accepted. But this other guy either. Well, this other guy at least was a little more direct and honest about it. He said, I sent this pitch letter, and he honestly didn't know what happened to it. And I was one of the people that said, well, it probably got thrown away because they don't accept that over that CBS and Paramount. They don't accept pitches. They don't accept acting gigs. They don't accept story submissions, scripts, TV scripts, or movie scripts at Paramount or CBS. They want all that done in-house. A lot of those guys on Trek Core are from my era or a little bit earlier, and they remember the contest. And I've been over that before. But there was a contest in the 90s, in brief, that allowed fans to submit their Mary Sue Star Trek-y things to Star Trek. And the movie Trekkies and Trekkies 2 brought this up quite a lot. If you go back there and check that out. We also have Gabe Crooner is interviewed on there, too. He was one of the first fan guys using action figures. So, yes, thanks to Gabe Crooner, Star Trek Chimera is a thing. Yes, Gabe, thanks. Yeah. He will be acknowledged at the credits. We did not talk to him personally directly about Chimera, but he was on Trek Web when we were there back in the day, under one of the Chimeras, and there, but yeah, on that, so that was cool. And Facebook was on his Facebook briefly for a little while during the transition from Trek Core. I don't know what he's doing now. There were a couple other guys on there, but yeah, he'll be acknowledged along with other people. It'll be acknowledged. And then when you see the acknowledgments in the end credits of Chimera, you'll go, oh. Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it where we were coming from. You'll go, oh, well, that's who they... Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense now. So, yes, the other... Yeah, nobody pitched last year to Star Trek because no one was allowed to. We could have... But, again, we're a little more in the know than the other guy was, but not that much. We would have been not accepted. Our connection said, no, you wouldn't be accepted either. So it is funny. But we did go to Disneyland, and we did have some fun stuff showed to us and told to us about Star Wars, which was a different genre. And we've talked to some Star Wars people. And since then, we talked to some Star Trek people and some people in the know. And we know for certain that about Beyond. Well, they've already released the Beyond stuff that we pretty much knew already. But I won't go into enough of that. I was not on the set of Beyond or anything. All I know is that this old picture, that recent picture of the green screen in the background, the connection said, that's definitely not from the movie. Or from the new series. That green screen was from War of the Planet of the Apes. That's what they said that was from. Thought, oh, okay. Well, yeah, it kind of didn't really look like a Star Trek costume. But yeah, And no, we're not starting a new Firefly spinoff. No, Joss. Although, if you want us to write for you. No Firefly. Although the Firefly solar system should be Canopus. That'd be perfect. There's 4 stars. There's a white one in the middle. That's where Firefly is. Canopus. It's a star system. So there you go. There's where the white sun is. It's 42 light years away or so. Okay, well we found it in space. Well, I don't know, but yeah, hold on first. Anyway, no, we're not doing a Firefly thing. Although it was very much like Starcrackers. Yeah. But that Starcrackers thing you guys are watching is actually, most of that predates all that. It was the 90s. It was during that contest, actually. That's when that Star Trek thing was, Starcrackers. And the contest, I submitted Mark's cards, and I submitted under the real names, the cat's meowing. And yeah, so we were later rejected, but the rejection letters from Miss Fatjo, the script coordinator, she said they were good, and that the problem was the timing, and that we didn't have agents, and that yeah, mainly timing. We had good grasp of the characters, and we understood the show, the genre, and we were very well written. And yeah, she liked it, but there was just not, the DS9 one was about the Dominion, and the Voyager one, man, cat, and the Voyager one was about, I'm a crazy cat guy, and the Voyager one was about Tuvok, and that season there were too many Tuvok episodes, but they saved it for two more years. They opened it up again, and they stamped it again, and they said, maybe we'll look at this again. They looked at it twice. So I was on the top of near the top of the pile. But they said, no, they still don't have agents. So yeah. Another thing they said on that website, unsolicited agents and scripts will not be accepted. So if you want to be an actor in Hollywood, you have to be in the I'm going to mix those up. If you want to be a writer in Hollywood, WGA, that's the Writers Guild of America. And if you want to be an actor, you got to be in the other one. So yeah. So there's a lot of my stuff coming out. The Trek Core people keep asking about all that, and I keep saying, well, I can't advertise my stuff on here. It's against the guidelines. So the guidelines say, no, you can't hawk your stuff on Trek Core, because the minute they start hawking other people's stuff on there, I can see their point. If they start hawking other people's stuff on there, they'd have to play favorites to some of them. And also, if they actually sell any merchandise on there, they will get in trouble with Paramount. It's a Trek blog, and if they do that, they really should have an article on Axanar on Trek Core. I think that would be a good idea. If they haven't done it already, they should have a thing talking about it, on their YouTube channel. I don't know if they did directly, but yeah. But I'm not in charge of them, so there. Vestiges of the Trek Web, former Cowcat stuff, has reappeared elsewhere, and yeah, I don't own... Trek Web is not mine. Trek Web is... I can't do any Trek Web. That's a guy named Kurtzner. He's Steve Kurtzner. He abandoned the site and took off, leaving Archangel and some others in charge. Louis Gustavo Leo is on Trek Core. The other cast, a lot of the other cast, still Kurok, let's see, Prometheus, and what's the other guy? What's the guy with the funny Uncle Sam joke thing? So it's him. Also, there was a new one about the Enterprise era that we watched that didn't have us either. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go now, and this blog. This is just talking about the Star Trek thing, and the NDA agreements and copyright law. And you can look that up on the internet. There's good sites on copyright law and how that works, and the internet and YouTube law and stuff like that. As long as you don't have songs, as long as you don't use like full clips from movies, you should be all right. The YouTube and the others will not flag you, but don't have a Blip account because Blip is dead. Yeah. YouTube and Google own everything. Yes, and be wary of printing on Google diaries. Don't do that. If you put up a Google blog, we have lots of them, Google blogs. You know, they're all channels. If they're connected to our YouTube, they would got connected. When they got connected to YouTube around 2011, all of the settings went public. So from 2011 to 2015, if you got any blogs, make sure you don't have anything you don't want on there. Take that off. Because people will troll you on your YouTube channel if they discover what you have. So don't do that. Because it'll go public. So make sure that it's all the privacy settings are all set right, or you may get some very interesting ads for weird stuff that you didn't intend to, or you may piss people off. So don't do that. But that's just etiquette there. The light works really good this way with the lights aiming this way on me, and more so. You know what? Nobody's normal. That's the trick. Nobody is normal. They might think they are, but they're not. They've got some kind of quirk somewhere. And I figure that if that guy, Andy Warrer, can make a Martian movie and get to know those famous people and get to make a movie with Matt Damon or anything, I can certainly do that too. So, not yet, but yeah. I want creative freedom on my thing, as much as he did. Yeah. That's probably why you haven't seen me in Hollywood yet. It's like, they're all, no, we want to take this story and make it into being about like angst and bunnies and have like a baby in it and stuff and ruin it. It's like, no, well, you're not going to have it then. Anyways, so that's it. I just thought I would go over that. Why Axanar and the other fan films, in a nutshell, Axanar failed to follow the rules and was snarky about it. Renegades didn't follow the rules either, but they didn't get caught because they knew people. And Star Trek Chimera doesn't really know people, or people are, well, we know some people, but they're out of the business for a while. And they're all, well, this is what you do and what you don't do. So we've been able to go under the radar, so to speak. But there's nothing, no profit being made on our fan films, of course. And so why? How would we? I mean, anyway, see you around. Okay. So I had this Star Trek April Fool's joke called Star Trek Megaverse, and I'm going to attempt to read it. Because why not explain the joke after the fact? Because yes, I'm going to attempt to read it. Let's center that. Okay, Star Trek Megaverse. Subject, Star Trek series. Subject, Star Trek series, Megaverse. Star Trek Megaverse. It says here, Star Trek Megaverse, Central Broadcasting Service, television production. The starship is called the Megaverse, and the mission of the Megaverse is to explore strange new worlds, seek out new life forms and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. The galaxy will be the Milky Way, and it will be set in the early 25th century. Okay. Oh gosh. No, who could think this is not immediately an April Fool's joke? The captain is called Captain Regina Carpatha Muncher. Yeah. And that's funny right there. Carpath Muncher. Yeah, use your imagination. Okay. She is described as a metrosexual female humanoid who is, where it is no problem that she is pansexual, whatever that means. And she is about 36 Terran years old, and strong and powerful. So she's basically Ripley and Wonder Woman in their prime. And she's apparently a lesbian, and several other isbians. Yeah, that's a joke. Yeah, the fans picked up on that, but nothing else. Let's see. Oh God. The first officer is Richard Lionheart Steele, with an E on the end of Steele, and Lionheart Steele, apparently related to one of the fan fiction characters. Oh God, Rayford Steele, apparently. Lionheart, Richard Lionheart, and he's described as a strapping, young and proud, muscled and strong twice there, male humanoid, cat-like being, who with leonine traits. If he's cat-like, he's got leonine traits. He's cat-like. He is a lover of females, but occasionally he will date outside his species and gender. Come on, that is totally hilarious. Oh God, shipping story coming up here, and then we come to the comic relief character is MJ Smoke-A-Lot. Mary Jane Smoke-A-Lot. Who's a man, incidentally, or Mark Jane Smoke-A-Lot. Smoke-A-Lot is described as a skinny but toned male in his 20s who likes to rap and make lyric poems, and is always cracking wise jokes, and wants to fit in. He wants to fit in by cracking wise. He is sort of a young Will Smith, described as wearing bling. His skin is purple, so he's not black. He's purple. But it's clearly imitating the stereotyped sort of like as you know, white suburban kids would picture a black street rapper guy, and apparently he smokes a lot of pot on the ship, like, you know. Yeah, clearly a joke there, but nobody got it. Clearly I'm spoofing the idea of the 80s style white rapper kid who thinks he wants to be cool and hang out with the black kids, even though he knows full well he will get his ass kicked if he does. It's like, that's the joke. Okay, the next guy is, that's comic relief. But the next guy is Dr. Ivana Scalpel. Scalpel. Dr. Crusher, Bones McCoy, and Scalpel. And Scalpel, or Scapelli, is described as a winged dragon-like female saurian, Terran, the thing. She is probably 30 years old, and she is into everything. Oh my. Oh my. She likes the holodeck and to daydream. So yeah, she's a fanficky character, like, oh look, she's a dragon. Without wings. Without wings. Okay, then we come to the chief engineer / science officer, Mr. Roboto. So they've basically taken Sheldon of Big Bang Theory and made him into Data. That's not what it says there, but that's kind of what he is. He is Mr. Roboto, is described as a reformed Borg. Mr. Roboto is smart, savvy, all-around tech guy. He's a big nerd who can fix literally anything on the fly. So he's like MacGyver. He's like MacGyver, but a current one. He is all-powerful and amazing, and uses the best tools. And he also knows his way around the ship. Well, hopefully he does if he's the engineer. Clearly I'm spoofing the metahuman character that Michael Gomoltz put up all over the net last year, and saying, "Oh, let's just make him a character on this show." It's a joke. It's not him. Nor is he involved in this in any way. This is a joke. This is not a real series. And then we come, so I wanted to have a Borg, so that'd be funny. Here next we have the cargo manager officer, or ops officer, Sparkly Gloaming. Sparkly Gloaming is after Twilight. Of course, that's a term after Twilight. Stole that from a Bacon character. Here's from last year. Described sparkly gloaming as an equine female humanoid with partly human-like traits. So she has hands, basically. It says as an alien who can handle the job and is strong and powerful. She is super magical and friendly. Oh my, super magical. But she's not gay, she's just super magical. She's essentially an Equestria girl from My Little Pony, so we have a bromie in costume in the story, which is funny. Obviously fake. Okay, next we come to the helmsman navigator, Bart Simpson. Bart Simpson. Duh. This is like, I wasn't even trying there. Bart Simpson. No way could they do that. It's not Fox, it's CBS. Described as a yellow creature, partly for comic relief, who is good-natured and brilliant, but awkward. An android-like character, in some ways. He will understand humanity, but is less autistic than Data. He will have a habit of saying, "oh man," a lot. Or perhaps to be a minion and he'll go, "banana, hella." That's not in there, but he's clearly a minion crossed with Bart Simpson. That would just be so annoying. Oh my god. It's almost as annoying as they put Jar Jar on the ship. Maybe I should have put Jar Jar on the ship and have been more brilliant. This is not Chimera. This is just this fake series that I put on April Fool's Day. And then we come to the navigation away team. Away team's character, in which I ripped off the Babs Hoppity character from Zootopia, and she's Babs Hoppity here instead of Hop. What was her name in that one? Just Hops. Yeah. Described as a funny rabbit-like humanoid with which means she likes to do it a lot, mate a lot, which will only be hinted at for comic effect. Sometimes she doesn't though, and has occasional moods. So in other words, like she's occasionally not funny. Apparently, she has mood swings. She will be sassy and have a sexy air about her. She Jessica Rabbit, like bunny rabbit thing. Like if Roger Rabbit somehow mated with Jessica Rabbit and produced a hybrid bunny humanoid offspring, which would be horrible. Just even imagine. Except the furries would probably like, oh my. But yeah, and she'd be, yeah. So there's the fiction thing, and at the very end of this quirk that they didn't get to on the website. They only went to the LGBT thing, and they talked about the captain. They're still talking about the captain, but they recently commented on that. But they did not read this post at all. Apparently, they get to the end, and it says, except for the captain. They get to the end here, and they're all, who will be the villain? And it says, the guy who thought up this as an April Fool's joke. Yeah.